We appreciate your company this afternoon. First, as part of his campaign ahead of the 2024 general elections, President John Mahama committed to what he described as a 120-day social contract with the people of Ghana, a bold pledge to implement a set of key policy actions within the first 4 months of assuming office. Among the headline promises were the abolition of several controversial taxes, including the e-levy, COVID-19 health levy, the betting tax, and the recently introduced emission levy. Now, with 100 days gone, the Joy News Research Desk has conducted an assessment of progress made so far. Out of the 25 policy commitments outlined in the social contract, 8 have been fully implemented, 9 currently in progress, 8 are yet to be initiated. And on your screen, we'll be breaking that down for you shortly. Now, progress on Mahama's 120-day contract, 100 days, as we told you earlier, spent, and we've got 8 at least completed, 9 in progress, and 8 of them also not started. Let's still break this down further for you. And so some completed promises would include, first one, a national dialogue on education and economy, which we also broadcast here live on the Joy News channel. 2, no fees for first years, free tertiary for persons living with disabilities, and the funds have been allocated. Third one is e-levy, betting and emission taxes also scrapped. Fourth one, allocation for Women's Development Bank as well has been made in the budget, which was read in Parliament some weeks or a little over a month ago. And we'll take you to the next one that will give us well, so still outstanding promises in the 120-day contract would be that he's yet to scrap the COVID-19 levy, ban political appointees from purchasing state assets. Third one would be on the promise of code of conduct for government officials, restructure loss-making SOEs for profitability, streamline government scholarship administration as well. For the fourth and fifth one, we've seen a little bit of progress, but we can't record the exact progress. But also, in all, 68 of the promises to be fulfilled, and we've got only 20 days left out of the 120 social contracts that he had with us as a country. The next slide as well, we'll talk about the promises that are in progress, which means that they've sort of been started, but they haven't finished yet. Constitute the leanest, most efficient government. Still also waiting to scrap COVID-19 levy, forensic audits on financial mismanagement cases as well, also 24-hour economy policy, and also ban illegal and new mining activities in forest reserves, which you may have heard a lot of talks about that, why the president hasn't still revoked or repealed that LI. So launch the Black Star experience is the promises that are still in progress. Reopen investigation into unresolved criminal cases. Probe VRAs, Akosombo and Pond Dam spillage. Ninth one will be compensate flood victims in Oti, Bono East and Savannah regions. Well, that'll be all for now, but we're following this keenly as well, and then we're bringing you some data or some analysis a bit later on the 20 days that is left out of the 120 social contracts. But away from that, and still on the President John Mahama has once again extended an olive branch to the military leaders of Burkina Faso, Mali and Niger, inviting them to Accra as ECOWAS prepares to host an extraordinary summit next week. The meeting, which will bring together foreign affairs and finance ministers from across the sub-region, is part of efforts to address growing concerns over the recent breakaway of 3 Sahelian nations from ECOWAS to form their own confederation, the Alliance of Sahel States. The withdrawal has raised fears of significant socio-economic fallout for coastal West African countries like Ghana, which rely heavily on these landlocked neighbors for agricultural imports, especially vegetables. Speaking at a news conference to launch a year-long celebration of ECOWAS' 50th anniversary, Foreign Affairs Minister Samuel Okudzeto-Ablaka confirmed that President Mahama has formally invited the military leaders to participate in the Accra summit.
I did indicate all ECOWAS heads of state have been invited for this event, including heads of state of the AES countries. You do know that because of the divorce from ECOWAS, it requires the host president to be solely responsible for that invitation. So they will come as hosts of the Ghanaian president because of the divorce. But in the spirit of goodwill and seeking to foster reunification, which we hope that will be achieved in the shortest possible time, all sides. When President Mahama discussed with his colleagues that he wanted to invite the AES heads of state, he did not face any opposition or resistance, which is really a good sign that there is that genuine commitment and desire for ECOWAS to be fully reintegrated. And those of you who followed President Mahama's state visits to these AES countries, you recall that they did indicate that if ECOWAS will recognize their bloc, the AES bloc, and will not mind inviting them as a bloc, not as individual countries, then they were open to the idea. So President Mahama has briefed the chair of ECOWAS, President Tinubu, as you do know, following his shuttle diplomacy. And President Tinubu has said that at the next ECOWAS Heads of State Summit, President Mahama will be given the floor to present a detailed report of his engagements so that some of these considerations and the concessions, which I imagine will be discussed by heads of states. You need also to recall that during this launch, there will be the extraordinary meeting of ministers to discuss this same matter, and a report will be presented to the heads of state. So you can see a flurry of efforts to get our good neighbors to return to the fold, even if they will return under a different guise, under a different format. What is important is that we are so interlinked, we are so intertwined, we are one people, we have common ethnic groups, a common culture, common heritage. There's so much that that binds us together, than those artificial boundaries, as you know, which were boundaries not created by us. So we are very confident that we will see a reunited ECOWAS.
Now, questions are emerging over President John Mahama's continued engagement with the military rulers of Mali, Burkina Faso and Niger, especially in light of their formal withdrawal from ECOWAS and the creation of their own confederation, the Alliance of Sahel States. Despite the political tensions, President Mahama has extended yet another invitation to the leaders to join an upcoming ECOWAS summit in Accra. Now, head of the JoyNews Foreign Affairs and Diplomatic Desk, Blessed Soga, joins us in studio with more on the development. Blessed, what do we know? Why is the president very insistent on inviting these military leaders into the country?
In the spirit of reconciliation, as we're learning from the Foreign Affairs Minister, that might be the initial reason for which collectively Ghana might want to join forces with ECOWAS to try and restore some calm and to get these AES countries talking with us. But beyond that, we are also very, very confident that the reason for which John Mahama might want to engage this country in terms of Burkina Faso, Mali and Niger could also be because of Ghana's own strategic reasons and positioning. Mind you, we share direct borders with one of these AES countries, which is Burkina Faso, as you can see on top of us there. So we're just here and Burkina Faso is here. Then you have Mali, which also has a very special relations with us in terms of historical ties. So you recall the exclusive interview we did with the representatives to the Sahel, Ambassador Gbavlo Late, who told us clearly that the aim of John Mahama may not necessarily be to influence these countries to join ECOWAS once more. The ultimate goal is to ensure that whatever strategic interest we have in Burkina Faso, mind you, they are a breadbasket for us, bringing tons and tons of onions and other vegetables as well. Mali also provides us with some strategic interest as well. So all of these countries to us are very beneficial, a reason for which you see the president leaning towards them, and whatever the outcome might be after this ECOWAS summit that will happen in Accra, then Ghana would decide whether we're pursuing a collective interest or what's strategic to us. So regardless, Ghana wants to go in and to strengthen its ties with these three countries.
Let's explore this a little further. How safe or not safe could this be?
Well, not safe in respect of what Ghana has represented over the years. We have long since represented that beacon of democracy for the entire sub-region. So many see John Mahama's posture towards these AES countries as not welcoming for ECOWAS, which is much more reliant and very much in need of democratic signals now. Because if you take the entire African continent, West Africa is experiencing the highest rate of military takeover. And the aim was to get all of these three countries transition into, say, a civilian rule. But that's not happening because the AES says they're not coming back to the alliance. I mean, in terms of ECOWAS, they want to form their own future with the AES compact. So that is why many are skeptical about trying to always extend the olive branch, as John Mahama is doing with them. But mind you, if you're faced with a collective interest and your own strategic interest as a president, obviously your country's interest should be paramount to you. So yes, ECOWAS is very important to us, but of course Ghana would also be mindful of the interest that you have, first of all, with Burkina Faso, which is quite playing a leadership role in that AES region, and also dealing with the others as well.
But Blessed, I mean, we know that they have insisted that they will not return to ECOWAS, but ECOWAS has also maintained the position that the doors are always open to these countries. What's really the reason?
Well, it's not shut, because if you take a look at the timelines, on December 14, that was when ECOWAS officially acknowledged the decision by Burkina Faso and the others to break away. Then you come to the end of March, I guess 29th of January, thereabout, where all of the heads of state said, well, we acknowledge the fact that you want to exit ECOWAS in the spirit of brotherhood or sisterhood, depending on which side you want to see it from. We don't want to allow all of these countries to leave. So you have a window from now till the end of June, right? When you feel, anytime you feel that you're convinced that you certainly want to come back into the bloc, because ECOWAS is by far the most populous regional economic bloc in Africa, not just in West Africa, simply because of the big population in Nigeria, Ghana, Benin. All of these are strategic markets to the AES as well. So anytime that you feel that, well, you want to come back into ECOWAS, there's a window up to June for these countries to come back. And they have the president of Togo and Diomaye Faye of Senegal leading that talk that is going on between these countries. But we're not sure if AES will come back. And I guess that's why President John Mahama, at every step of the way, would want to have these people around. Just a couple of days ago, I was at a high-level dialogue with Ambassador Fatou Musa, who's the head of the Political Commission at ECOWAS. He explains to us clearly that ECOWAS is keeping their doors open. And we can just listen to excerpts of that report.
2 years of existence, the Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS, is currently grappling with disintegration, the latest being the exit of Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger to form the new Alliance of Sahelian States, AES. These developments and many others have prompted a high-level dialogue convened by the West African Network for Peace Building, WANEP, which is attempting to unpack the contemporary geopolitical dynamics while recommending solutions.
The geopolitics of West Africa is changing. France is no longer what it used to be in this neighborhood. France is being asked to leave. At least French soldiers are leaving. How can we turn this moment to our advantage? And how can we take care of what I will call our own family problems? Because at the end of the day, we are family.
Also alarmed at the fragmentation taking place in West Africa is the Commissioner for Political Affairs, Peace and Security at the ECOWAS Commission, Ambassador Abdel Fattah Musa, who's worried the situation may renew the cycle of dependency on foreign powers.
The whole issue of the dependency syndrome, because today, when we are talking about the differences between ECOWAS and others, you chase France out, then you welcome Russia, and then, others. And I must tell you that ECOWAS never closed the door to collaboration on security and humanitarian matters with the Sahelian state. Up until they left, They were participating in the Accra initiative, which was based here. ECOWAS always invited them to this meeting. I must confess that the Sahelian countries, since about 2007, have been very reticent in collaboration with the rest of the region. In 2007, ECOWAS wanted to develop a Sahel strategy, and it faced fierce opposition from the countries in the Sahel, led by Algeria and a few of them. That ended.
Now, as the dry season deepens, water scarcity is biting hard across the northern region, turning access to clean water into a daily battle for many residents. In Tamale and its surrounding communities, the situation has worsened. Long queues at boreholes, erratic supply, and growing frustration are now part of everyday life. So, what does it mean when water becomes a luxury? Joy News visited some of the hardest hit areas to witness the reality on the ground and hear directly from those affected.
Under the scorching sun, the once thriving water bodies of the region have shriveled up, leaving residents parched and desperate. The dry season, a reoccurring nightmare for this region, has turned access to clean water into a luxury only a few privileged can afford.
If
the dam was dredged, it would have been better because the taps are not flowing in this area and it is affecting our daily lives. We have been here since morning and still no water for us. Our kids are not able to go to school because of water scarcity in the area.
Even the young lady, even if you are in your month, even you are in your period, you can't even get water to bath. And like the taps are locked, the tap is locked, and the dam is also dry.
I am compelled to abandon my work and search for water for my family. This is too hard for us, so the government should come to our aid.
The Ghana Water Company said it is faced with significant challenges in meeting its mandate to supply water due to outdated equipment and other challenges. The regional water quality manager, Suleiman Al-Hassan, speaks.
The plant is not able to provide adequate quantities because the plant was designed to provide a total volume of 45,000 cubic meters a day. If we go to Dalon, we have two treatment systems. One, we call it the old system, that is supposed to provide 80 million gallons of treated water a day. Then the other one that we call the new treatment plant is supposed to add 26,000 cubic meters a day. So if you lump the two together, we are looking at not less than 45,000 cubic meters a day.
The bustling markets of Bolgatanga, comprising the old market and the new market, are facing substantial fire hazards that could endanger both traders and customers. While the last major fire incident in the old market occurred over a decade ago, recent events, including a fire that damaged stores near the new markets 4 months ago, have raised an alarm among traders for a series on breaking the fire cycle. Our East correspondent Albert Sorry visited the Bolgatanga market and now reports.
The Upper East Regional Capital, Bolgatanga, has two main markets, the old market and the new market. The Bolgatanga markets have been quite fortunate to escape fire disasters for a long time now. However, the Bolgatanga markets are not completely safe from the danger of fire disasters. During a visit by Joy News, it was revealed that open burning of plastic and other waste is a common practice in both markets due to the lack of proper waste management systems. Linda Akupa is a leader of the Market Women's Association.
At times we just take the rust and just burn it there. So after the burning, you can't stand after the burning to go. You can just start and burn the thing walking away.
The fire risks are compounded by the congestion in these markets caused by unauthorized structures.
We as the market women, we have our place. Everybody's supposed to sit inside the shop. And the thing is not big like that.
It is not right for us to light fires anywhere at all within the market, but some do that. You might finish cooking or even smoking and fail to properly put out the fire. And if the wind blows and ignites a fire during the night when no one is here, you can imagine what would happen.
The Ghana National Fire Service in the Upper East region, led by Regional Commander Richard Absafo Sego, acknowledges these ongoing risks in the Bolgatanga markets.
Some of the major hazards that we normally identify are naked fires, that the market women mostly cook in the markets before they cruise, then illegal connections.
The commander said there were teams present within both markets to educate traders on fire safety and serve as first responders.
Routinely, we meet the market leaders to discuss about the challenges that they are facing and the service as a whole. We've also earmarked all the markets as fire stations. We man there 24/7.
Joy News found that the team's operational bases in both markets are located within incomplete and poorly maintained structures.
They are forming a task force. This time when we come, whatever we can do for us not to experience the fire outbreaks, we are going to do it.
As the Bolgatanga markets remain a vital hub for commerce, the safety of traders and customers hangs in the balance. The call for a comprehensive waste management system and stricter enforcement of market regulations is urgent to prevent potential fire outbreaks in these busy markets. Reporting for Joy News, Albert Sori, Bolgatanga.
Away from Bolgatanga, now former parliamentary candidate for the New Patriotic Party in the Seshi Akontombra constituency in the Western North region, Apia Kubi Boedu, has officially tendered his resignation from the party. In a statement issued on Wednesday, Apia Kubi cited years of maltreatment meted out to him and his immediate family by the party as the main reasons for his decision. According to him, several attempts to raise concerns through internal party structures yielded no positive results, leaving him with no choice but to bow out. Apia Kubi previously contested the Seshi Akontombra parliamentary seat on the ticket of the NPP but lost in the primaries and served as district chief executive in the area. We'll now go on phone and talk to him to get an understanding of what the situation is like. Thank you for joining us this afternoon. So you've cited years of maltreatment as a reason for your resignation. Can you give us specific examples of what you and your family endured?
Let me say good afternoon to you and your cherished viewers. And let me thank you for giving me the opportunity to let the whole country know, and especially my party, to understand why I've taken the decision that I have taken today. The Akontombra constituency was created in 2004, and I was the first parliamentary candidate. I was the candidate for 2004, 2008, and 2012, before President Kufuor made me a DCE as a in 2005, and later came back to Akontombra to complete my term when he gave us a district in Akontombra. I did not contest the 2016 elections and handed the baton to my former constituency chairman, Honorable Jonobo Atete, who was privileged to win the seat in 2016 because the sitting NDC MP, Honorable Harry Kobna, contested as independent candidate in 2016. Ever since Honorable Atete became the MP for the area, the constituency has never seen any peace. He has targeted some people who he believes perhaps have the potential to contest him in the future, and cited those young guys to always intimidate and vilify us. In 2018, 2022, when you were organizing the police station elections, he brought macho men to intimidate the party followers, and some of us didn't like that. So we followed up with the program, and to the extent that there was a misunderstanding which led to him organizing some macho men to kidnap me. In fact, he used the DC's official car to engage in that exercise, of which the police at Sahel also impounded the car. The matter was taken to national, nothing was done about it. We appealed to national to look into the matter and ensure that the justice was done. But the police instructed me, or they advised me that the matter was a petty matter, and therefore it should be left to rest. We did not take it kindly. But going forward, before the 2024 elections, the signs were clear that Honorable Tete was going to lose the seat, because his style of leadership wasn't what was going to help us maintain the seat. So some party faithfuls contacted me to come back and contest him, of which I accepted. When I filed my nomination, it was time for the vetting at the review of the regional capital. Prior to the vetting, I was made aware that there were plans to disqualify me, but I didn't believe it, so I went to the vetting. Unfortunately, the team that was assigned for the vetting was changed at the 11th hour before the vetting. Nia Jesua was made the chairman of the regional vetting committee. In fact, we were the second consultant to be vetted, but the results were delayed until late in the evening when I was told that I had been disqualified. I didn't take it kindly, so I made an appeal to NEC, the National Peace Committee, which was chaired by Honorable Osekwame Prempe. I was invited to appear before the NEC meeting. Unfortunately, no one from the regional vetting committee was invited to sit into the matter to hear me and either agree or disagree with the appeal that I made. I was there when the Eastern Regional Chairman for the vetting committee was invited to come in to answer certain questions from the appeals that were made against him. I was asked to wait for the report from NEC. When NEC met, I think 4 days or so after the appeals committee meeting, I was eventually told I have been disqualified. Okay. I didn't take it kindly. I called the General Secretary personally to express my displeasure to him, but to no avail. Later, I was asked that all the money that I paid will be refunded to me to let the dust settle for us so you can move on as a party. Until today, nothing has been heard.
You haven't received that refund as well?
It hasn't been done, my dear.
I'm quite certain.
My brother's vehicle was destroyed. Hello?
Please go on, proceed.
Yeah, when I was kidnapped, a brother's vehicle was ransacked, destroyed completely. The police took charge of the vehicle. As of today, the party hasn't done anything about.
But why did you not? Why did you not proceed further? Because a kidnap would be a threat to your life.
Exactly so, my dear.
But you don't seek redress from the party if you've been kidnapped. That's a separate issue from your party issues. It may have been caused by them, but why did you not proceed further?
You see, I should have asked the police to present the matter to court. But what I was told was that the National Party has ordered the matter should be taken as a party matter. And as a result, I couldn't have any option than to let it rest.
Why now then?
The irony of the whole problem is that the party in Akontomra has been so polarized. Today, as we speak, Apia Kubi, as the people know, is one of the legs upon which the Akontomra party was built. But my name has been put to the mark that there's no way I can come back and contest as a parliamentary candidate.
Tell me,
today, I don't know my fate,
why
I belong
now?
to the party or not.
But tell me why now, especially when the party is going under what they describe as restructuring, and especially when it happened just yesterday when Professor Michael Quay just presented the report and the challenges that the party is facing. Why now? Why not yesterday, a day before? With
the greatest of respect, I don't have trust for the National Party, because all the appeals I made, all the things I did, go to deaf ears. Interestingly, I should have resigned ahead of the elections, but I was advised not to take the decision because anything that happens could be showered on me as the one who must have caused the loss of the constituency. Lo and behold, all the things that we said about the constituency have come to pass. We lost the seat miserably. And the things that we're saying were things that if the party listened to, you could have maintained this seat. Since you
tendered your resignation, have you heard from the party leadership in any way? Have you been invited?
Well, the consultancy chairman has acknowledged receipt. The original chairman spoke to me this morning. I sent the general secretary's copy to him yesterday. They were having neck. So I'm here to hear from him.
This neck, you would assume, is the report that they were submitting yesterday.
I sent it to a copy to the regional secretary.
Okay.
And I believe NEC must have been made aware of the decision I've taken.
Moving forward, what are your plans as a politician?
Well, I will sit back for a while, reflect over my past, and look at what I'm going to do next. But I speak with you today. I have not taken any decision about my political future. Okay. But I wouldn't leave the political scene. Surely I will make a decision in the coming weeks.
If the NPP convinces you that they can reconcile with you, considering everything you have said is true, would you go back to the NPP, or nothing at all will let you go back?
I'm sorry, I wouldn't rescind my decision because I wouldn't like to be, quote unquote, a political prostitute. These contemporary matters has been with the party for a long period. There was a time the regional chairman of the party, also, was stopped from entering the constituency by the same MPP, by the constituency executives and the former MP.
Right.
The whole regional chairman. So a contemporary was some time ago was called an independent constituency. It's like a contemporary has become too powerful that no one can change the situation here. So having taken the decision, I don't think it would be wise on my side and I'll
let you go, but before I let you go quickly, there's already the biggest opposition party, and there are new political parties springing up. You may have heard the new one in the grapevine. There's also the Movement for Change and others. Would you consider any of them that broke out of the NPP?
Not for now. Okay. If I will consider joining any political party, it will be the NDC.
Right. Thank you very much for talking to us.
Media.
You're watching News Today. Stay with us because still to come in the bulletin, we'll take you up to the hill of Kwewu, which is already buzzing with excitement as crowds begin to pour in ahead of this weekend's much anticipated Easter celebration. What you know as Kwewu. Please stay.
Hi, good afternoon. Welcome to Business. My name is Darrell Kwao. President of the Ghana Hotels Association, Dr. Edward Akanyamike Jr., has voiced disappointment over the government's 2025 budget, calling for the removal of the COVID-19 levy and other taxes he says are driving up operational costs in the hospitality sector. Speaking at the launch of the association's 50th anniversary celebrations in Accra, he stressed that scrapping these levies is essential to boosting growth and long-term sustainability in the industry.
Ghana's hotel industry remains a vibrant pillar of the economy, contributing significantly to GDP, stimulating growth and creating employment opportunities across the country. As part of the 50th anniversary celebrations of the Ghana Hotels Association, the association's president, Dr. Edward Akanyamike, emphasized the need for efficient tax consolidation, pointing out that this crucial component was missing from the government's 2025 budget statement.
Raise issues about the disbursement of the Tourism Development Fund, accounting to the industry players, getting us to know what is in there, what is going out, and of course also support from that fund to the tourism trade associations. We also commented on the budget, the recent budget that was read, and our disappointment with the fact that the COVID-19 levy is still there, and then also that there was no attempt to consolidate the taxes we pay, which is something we've been advocating for. We commented on the capital allowance, which we think the capping needs to be reviewed from that 75,000, which was done about 9 or so years ago. It's not helpful now. Electricity and water especially. And then we were even concerned about it before the current review came in. So we think the industry needs to be given some special consideration when it comes to some of these adjustments and not the wholesale type that we've been seeing.
Meanwhile, the CEO of the Ghana Tourist Development Company, Professor Kobe Mensah, highlighted the importance of the upcoming Ghana tourism marketplace.
Online tourism agencies are taking our $8,000, holding the money for about a month before they get it back to you. It's not going to happen, and I would make sure that it doesn't happen. We're building a very robust, strategically oriented tourism market, tourism Ghana Tourism Marketplace. That can actually help us to get money to support the trade associations that you talk about.
In other news, Minister of Food and Agriculture, Dr. Eric Opoku, has promised an improved food production cycle for the 5 regions in the north. Northern Ghana was plagued by drought last farming season, affecting food production and food prices. Speaking during the signing of a $1 million funding agreement between government and the ARB Apex Bank, the minister said the project was targeted at funding irrigation and other implements to support especially women in the 5 regions in the north.
The ultimate objective of this project is to increase farmer incomes and support household nutrition, particularly among women-headed households, through a well-integrated package of interventions, including 1. Improve access to climate-smart agricultural inputs for key staple crops, maize, rice, soybean, cowpea, and groundnut. 2. Enhance mechanization through the provision of handheld agricultural equipment tailored to smallholder needs. And 3. Deployment of solar-powered micro-irrigation kits to boost dry season vegetable production. 4. Promotion of household poultry production to enhance access to affordable, nutritious food. It will support smallholder farmers, especially women groups engaged in vegetable production and the cultivation of women-led crops such as groundnut, cowpea, and soybean to access timely and affordable credit. In addition, micro-enterprises and agribusinesses operating along the agricultural value chain will also benefit from the facility to expand their operations and improve their resilience.
All right, more business news, top of the hour on the marketplace. Next, sports. Don't go anywhere.